Boy now, welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar. I'm going to kick this video off with an unboxing of Susumu Yokota's Skintone Edition Volume 1. And I'll be back in a minute with a little bit more thoughts on him, the artist, and kind of my entree into his catalog. Well, yesterday a box set came in that I've been looking forward to for, I don't know, at least a couple months, I think. Put this order in mid-July from my favorite record store. That would be Audiophile, local record store. They're the ones who actually introduced me to this artist. And I've been enthralled ever since, listening to the first record I purchased of his, Symbol, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But here is the unboxing of the Susumu Yokota box set. Now, a little bit about Susumu Yokota. He was I guess a techno house DJ in Tokyo in the early 90s. I was actually living in Tokyo during that time, and but did not catch any of his sets. I wasn't really aware of the DJ culture. I was more interested in rock and roll. But again, out of the DJ techno house music, apparently Moody Man and others, the Detroit DJ or performer was a big influence on him. He was also, Yokota-san was also very influenced by apparently the Young Marble Giants, Joy Division, and that kind of sort of post-punk scene. And I don't know if you can really tell that when you listen to the music, but he's a fascinating artist. And so here we have the Skintone Edition Volume 1. And I am going to do an unboxing. I've got my tools, my coffee to keep me well caffeinated, and of course the box cutter. So here we go. First of all, before I open it up, again, the box arrived at my local record store, Audiophile. I didn't expect that it was going to be all packaged up like this, which was kind of nice, not just open and free. So here we got the front of the box. You can see that this Skintone Edition Volume 1, there's a second volume coming next year. This features, I believe, 7 of his 14 records that he released on his it's his own record label, Skintone, that he established in, I think, 1998. So this is the first 7 records. There's another 7 coming in Volume 2 sometime next year. So nice looking, well wrapped box. There we have the other side, showing the records, little description, that kind of thing. So looking good. This was released by Low Recordings, who I believe distributed a lot of his music while he was alive. Now, the thing about Susumu Yokota is he did pass away. This is actually the 10th anniversary of his death. He passed away in 2015, and much too early. I believe he was 54 years old. So here we go, unboxing time. I want to be careful, this isn't a cheap box. Lots of drama, again with a well-packaged box. It doesn't open easily, and that's ultimately what you want. You don't want to get excited and carried away like a schoolboy getting ready or opening his main Christmas present. So often we get complaints in terms of packaging, and things are not packaged well enough, and there are dings and bangs and scrapes and everything. But look at that. I've removed the outer shell, also beautifully lined here. It's such a beautiful box set and not an inexpensive one. So the fact that they've done such a good job of packaging it, you would expect that. Look at that, very nice little foil seal there. Ooh, a nice reveal. What a nice box. Hopefully you can see the nice foil. It's a cloth finish on the box, and then this very sparkly and some silver foil there with the lettering. We've got number 1, volume 1 of his Skintone. On the back, nice and minimalist, beautiful looking. And now for the records. Put this aside for now. Each of the records has this nice spot gloss, and of course all beautifully, with the shadow of the album listed there, so his name. This one's the first record, Magic Thread. A little disappointing though with the no polyliner sleeves, but that said, I'll give these a good clean and put them in my own polyline sleeves. So the first one, Magic Thread. All of these are on colored vinyl. Magic Thread volume 2 or second disc. This one is Image. This is a collection of 15 years of his work, I believe, 1983 to 1998. 1998 was the first year of his own Skintone label. First blush, the records look like they're in good condition, which I would expect nothing less than that. Here's Sakura. This one is kind of considered to be, if you're going to buy a standalone or you want to first check out his music and you don't know it well, I think Sakura is a good place to start. Nice, beautiful, I don't know if you call it indigo blue, but a beautiful blue color. So Sakura has got also 2 LPs to it. This is Grinning Cat. Will. There was a track that I've been listening to this on the streaming platforms. Not this actually, but a compilation of Skintone on one CD, or one small compilation. And there's a track on this that just had me completely hypnotized called Illusion River. This is another track to give a listen to if you want to just see whether Susumu Yokota is your guy. There's something really kind of magical about his music, I find. The emotion really comes through. Often with ambient it can be quite cold, but I find his music has a warmth and a soul to it, basically. He himself, Susumu Yokota, came from a design background, like from a image design. I think he worked for Dentsu for a while and did some of that work before and maybe during some of the time he was making this music. So The Boy and the Tree. It's an interesting story about this as well, which is going to, I think it's Yukushima Island, and experiencing a tree there that's, I can't remember how old, but it's over 1,000 years old, and apparently he had a great love of nature. So that nice kind of tangerine color. That's The Boy in the Tree, the second disc. This one is Laputa. I think that's how it's pronounced. And I believe this is a soundtrack to a Korean film. Should have done a bit more research, but I believe that's what this is. And this comes on a, I guess, almost like khaki color. And finally, there is a poster, which, is actually pretty simplistic, but a poster of, I guess, all of his work on the Skintone label, not just what's been released here in this first volume, but the second volume as well, because I see Symbol among those, and Love or Die, I believe that one, which I want to get as well, if I don't get the box two sets. So, and finally, liner notes. And, you know, not a lot actually, but that said, this is a fairly minimalist, aesthetically pleasing box. There's a description of all of the albums in both volumes. It's a little description of them here. They go into quite a bit of detail about the Skintone label. The early releases were on the Leaf label, which I think is a London-based label. Audio mastering and the design of the package, so they're going to go into that. And then a little bit, I think, about the master himself. So there it is. Skintone Edition, Volume 1, Susumu Yokota. Okay, a little supplement to the unboxing. First of all, my apologies for the unintentional ASMR. You know, it's not a beautiful woman's voice or the sounds of walking in nature. It's me heavy breathing. It might be that I was so excited about this box set that that caused that, but I think it's just an older guy breathing heavily. So a couple of years ago, I think I had a conversation with somebody in the store. I'd heard a little bit about Susumu Yokota, ambient house techno roots, I guess. And they had recommended maybe that I purchase this one record that had been out of stock and reissued, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And that record is called Symbol. This was my introduction to Yokota-san. And I bought this record really not knowing anything about it. I don't think I did much exploring of the music. I'd heard a little bit about him. When somebody dies young and they're really prolific and do some very interesting stuff, and that's the case with, unfortunately, Yokota-san died at 54 in 2015. But I got this record and I started to listen to it. My wife and I both love it. It's got a lot of classical cut and paste, like it's got a lot of sampled classical music. I'm not a big classical music fan, but it brings a level of beauty and textural qualities to his music, which I love. He recorded everything, or most everything, I think, in his home studio, probably a tiny little 6 tatami mat room or something like that. But between 1998 and 2012, he recorded, I believe it's 14 records. And the first edition of the Skintone box sets just been released. And that's got the first 7. And then there's going to be another one with another 7, which I believe Symbol will be in that box set. Not sure if I'm going to get number 2. We'll just see. But I might cherry pick a few albums, given that I've already got this one. Apparently, he was very interested in and listened to a lot of stuff like the Darude Column, Joy Division, Young Marble Giants, and some of it, I think the Darude Column and maybe Young Marble Giants you can hear in his music. I'm not sure that Joy Division that you can. But got his start doing DJing in Tokyo. I think he quickly got very tired of the DJ scene, and especially DJ as the star of the night or the star of the show and the high profile that he was getting. So he sort of backed up a little bit and started to put out his own stuff, and maybe didn't have as high a profile. I want to share a quote from the liner notes of Symbol, because I think this says better than anything I can a little bit about Yokota-san and his music. And it's a real wide variety. This box set's got a lot of different sounds, but this is what a gentleman named Tsutomu Noda Tsutomu, also known as, if I'm pronouncing it right, Eli King. This is his quote: "I've never made a work while having fun. I've either made it crazy or made it while shedding tears. Yokota told me in late 1997 in Ikejiri. As someone who has interviewed Yokota several times," again, this is Noda-san, "I can say without a doubt that Symbol was made while shedding tears. Symbol of life, love, and aesthetics. The 12th song of this work has one answer, but it is, so to speak, unconditional love and the world of Eros. And that's probably what Yokota saw through the senses expanded by dance culture, and he just wanted to see more of it. This is the root of his passion and at the same time his life. in which creating works was also a way of life. Symbol is also one of the fragments of his life. So he had an illness. He kind of disappeared after 2012, and I don't think had any recordings after 2012, and then passed away in 2015. Not sure if the illness is publicly known, but very sad to have died at 54. Obviously, a lot more life would have been expected, and probably output of his music and creations. So that's it for now. The unboxing of Susumu Yokota. Carpe diem, motherfuckers.